Jonathan Tah scored the goal that should have won Germany the match. VAR took it away. 20 minutes later, with his country's World Cup hanging on his right foot, Tah stepped up to the penalty spot and skied the ball over the bar. Paraguay scored next. Germany were eliminated. The same player who had history's biggest decision taken from him by a review screen was the one who handed the result to the opposition with his own foot. That is not bad luck. That is one of the cruelest sequences in World Cup history, and it happened to one man in one match in under 30 minutes. This is the story nobody is telling properly. Not the VAR debate everyone already had today. The story of Jonathan Tah specifically, and what his manager said afterward that should terrify every German fan watching this tournament. In the 105th minute of extra time, with the score locked at 1-1, Tah rose above everyone in the box and headed Nathaniel Brown's corner into the net. Germany's bench emptied. Tah dropped to his knees in celebration. Then the review screen lit up. VAR ruled that defender Waldemar Anton had fouled Paraguay's goalkeeper Orlando Gil in the build-up. The goal was disallowed. Former Manchester United goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel said live on air during the match, "I don't think it's a foul." ESPN's own referee analyst reviewed the incident afterward and concluded it was both a poor intervention by the VAR and an equally disappointing decision from the on-field referee, adding that it was in fact the Paraguay keeper who turned into the defender and went down, not the other way around. The goal should have stood. Two separate expert voices, one live and one after the fact, agreed on that. Germany did not get that goal back. The match went to penalties. Havertz, who had equalized for Germany earlier in the match, had his penalty saved by Gil, the exact goalkeeper whose fall had cost Tah his goal 20 minutes earlier. Then it was Tah's turn. The man whose moment had been taken from him by a review screen stood over the ball with the chance to put it right himself. He skied it over the bar. Jose Canale converted Paraguay's next kick. Germany were out. Sit with that sequence for a second. Tah scores. VAR disallows it for a foul most experts say didn't happen. 20 minutes later, Tah gets a second chance to be the hero, and he's the one who misses. The goalkeeper who went down to win the review is the same goalkeeper who saved Germany's first penalty. This wasn't a team failing collectively. This was one specific player living through the cruelest possible version of the same match twice. This was Germany's first World Cup knockout match in 12 years, their first ever World Cup penalty shootout loss in their entire history. Paraguay had never scored a World Cup knockout goal before this match either, and somehow it was Germany, four-time champions, who became the historic footnote. What Julian Nagelsmann said afterward is the part that should worry every German fan far more than the VAR decision. If you exit after the first stage, it's not enough for German football. This is now the third elimination in a row, so we are not part of the first-class teams anymore. A manager standing in front of cameras telling his own nation they have fallen out of football's elite tier. Not a pundit, not a fan on social media. The man actually in charge of the team. No one scored more goals than Germany in the group stage. They topped their group, and the manager still walked out and said the quiet part out loud. Paraguay, meanwhile, had beaten Brazil and Argentina during qualifying and had been thrashed 4-1 by the United States in their own opening group game. They only reached this round as the 7th of 8 third-place qualifiers, the lowest possible bar for advancement. That team beat four-time World Cup winners Germany. On penalties, after a contested VAR call that took away Germany's best chance to avoid this outcome entirely, was the VAR decision wrong? The evidence says probably yes. Does that explain everything that happened next? It doesn't. Tah still had to take that penalty. He still missed it. and Nagelsmann still had to stand in front of the world and admit his country no longer belongs at the top of the sport it invented modern tactics for. Do you think Tah deserves sympathy for what happened to him, or did Germany simply choke when it mattered most? Comment below, because this is the kind of result that gets argued about for years. Subscribe for the next chapter of this World Cup, because Paraguay now face France or Sweden, and somehow that is no longer the biggest underdog story left in this tournament.